This is your moment. Yes, right now. Your vindication, your triumphant comeback, the victory you've been waiting for. They thought they could tear you down, mock you, break your spirit. But guess what? That laughter they threw at you, it's gone now, replaced by silence. Now they're the ones scrambling, trying to make sense of your unstoppable rise to heights they never even imagined. They thought they had you trapped, boxed in by their schemes, silenced under the weight of their arrogance. They smirked, confident in your failure. But here you are, stronger, wiser, and rising higher than ever before. Let this be the moment you realize the power you hold, the resilience that brought you here, and the fact that the joke was never on you. It's always been on them. Keep going. Your best is yet to come. Life's challenges often manifest in ways that seem overwhelming. Yet behind the chaos lies an unseen force shaping the course of events. Every obstacle, every dismissive word, and every barrier placed in your way unknowingly prepared the foundation for your breakthrough. What appeared to be efforts to undermine you became stepping stones that forged your inner resolve. With each misstep orchestrated by others, an intricate design of redirection unfolded, guiding you to where you needed to be. Their confidence in your failure was met not with passive observation, but with a profound orchestration of circumstances, ensuring that their plots unraveled at the seams. Their underestimation revealed not their power, but their inability to recognize the transformative strength within you. This unseen hand ensured that the weight of their ambitions against you collapsed under the immensity of its precision, crafting a victory so undeniable that it left no room for doubt. Every stumble, every roadblock, and every wound inflicted upon you carried within it the seeds of an extraordinary transformation. The attempts to hinder you were unwittingly the forces that honed your focus and strengthened your resolve. What was meant to diminish you became the forge that refined your spirit, sharpening your instincts and broadening your vision. Those who plotted against you now stand bewildered, their plans dismantled by their own overreach. Their once confident schemes have disintegrated into uncertainty, replaced by an unspoken realization of your strength. You rose not by mirroring their actions, but by channeling every setback into a foundation for growth. Their silence now echoes louder than their previous taunts, a testament to the undeniable force of your journey. What they sought to halt has instead become unstoppable as your resilience turned their obstacles into stepping stones, creating a victory they never saw coming. Your fire is your power. Ready to rise? Subscribe now and let's ignite greatness together. The belief in their own invincibility blinded them to the intricate forces working beyond their comprehension. Their calculated moves, cloaked in arrogance, were crafted to dismantle you, but they unwittingly sowed the seeds of their own undoing. Every snide remark, dismissive gesture, and carefully laid trap turned into echoes that rebounded upon them, dismantling their schemes piece by piece. What they perceived as a flawless strategy unraveled before their eyes, exposing their fragile arrogance to an undeniable reality. The very actions they designed to harm you became the fuel for your resilience as their betrayals sharpened your clarity and their exclusion refined your strength. What they failed to see was the inevitable shift, a force guiding events with precision, ensuring their plans collapsed under their own weight. While they reveled in premature triumph, an unseen hand was repositioning you for a victory that silenced their derision. They underestimated the quiet power of patience and purpose, only to find themselves caught in the very web they had spun. Their downfall wasn't orchestrated by retaliation, but by the weight of their own overconfidence, while you rose, unyielding, from every attempt to hinder your path. They approached you with calculated charm, weaving elaborate facades of goodwill, certain that their manipulation would corner you. Little did they know, their actions served only to equip you with the tools to outmaneuver them. Every dismissive comment revealed truths you used to refine your strength. Every blockade they placed redirected you toward greater opportunities. What they crafted to undermine your resolve became the foundation of your triumph. Their overconfidence blinded them to the reality that each move they made allowed you to observe, adapt, and prepare. Their downfall wasn't sudden. It was forged slowly by their underestimation of your ability to turn adversity into progress. They mocked because they couldn't grasp the magnitude of your vision, viewing their ridicule as a means to diminish you. What they didn't anticipate was your resilience, which absorbed every insult as fuel for growth. Their laughter, meant to deter, became the backdrop to your unyielding focus. While they expended their energy plotting, you quietly constructed a path forward, proving that the very scorn they hurled would be the catalyst for their regret. The shift in perspective has become impossible to ignore. What they once dismissed as fantasy now stands as undeniable reality, and the strength they doubted shines through in every stride you take. Quiet acknowledgement brews in some, their pride preventing them from voicing their misjudgment. For others, regret festers, a realization that they completely underestimated you. The once confident laughter that echoed through their ranks has dissolved into an awkward silence. Their fleeting mockery has long faded, but your legacy continues to grow, unshaken and undeniable. What they saw as weakness was their own projection, a reflection of their inability to see beyond their limited perspective. You've risen above their doubt, leaving them grappling with the stark truth of their missed opportunity to stand with you. Their attempts to diminish were never a measure of your worth, but a revelation of their short-sightedness. In the end, it wasn't you who faced ridicule, but their inability to comprehend the magnitude of your vision. Throughout history, those who dared to think differently were often met with scorn. Their ideas, ahead of their time, were dismissed not because they lacked merit, but because the world wasn't ready to see what they could offer. One such story reveals how brilliance can be obscured by the blindness of the masses. A visionary, misunderstood and ridiculed, watched as their life's work was belittled, reduced to jokes by those unable to grasp its significance. The criticism wasn't a reflection of the value of their contributions, but of the limitations of those passing judgment. Years later, those once laughed-at creations became celebrated, standing as monumental achievements that redefined understanding. Like them, the ridicule you face today isn't proof of your insignificance. It's evidence of how far ahead you truly are. One day, those who doubted you may wish they had recognized your potential before it became undeniable. Dear brothers and sisters, the peace of God be with you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporary concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this gesture will come back to you 100-fold in abundance. They dismissed you outright, assuming your journey ended before it even began. Their voices were filled with skepticism, their doubts mere reflections of their own insecurities. They believed their judgment was the final verdict, failing to see the opportunity hidden in their disregard. Their underestimation became your greatest strength, granting you the freedom to grow without their interference, to refine your craft while they stagnated in complacency. Each barrier they put before you became a redirection toward greater opportunities, each doubt an ember that stoked the fire of your resolve. While they basked in premature celebrations, you worked in silence, building the foundation of a breakthrough they could never predict. They misjudged the resilience of someone who values preparation and understands the power of patience. Then, when the moment came, you rose, undeniable, unstoppable. Their disbelief couldn't mask the truth. Their neglect didn't diminish you, it fueled your ascent. Now they struggled to comprehend how they failed to recognize your strength, left only with the realization that their dismissal was the spark that ignited your rise. Your journey starts here. Subscribe now and let's create something extraordinary together. Their inability to see beyond their own narrow perceptions was never a reflection of your value. What they called hesitation was, in truth, alignment with a greater purpose. The timing of your rise was not delayed, it was deliberate. Now that you stand in your power, nothing can halt the momentum you've built. The opportunities they overlooked are their loss, but your journey is what will echo through time. Consider the story of a dedicated artist, overlooked for years, quietly mastering their craft away from the spotlight. While others scrambled for instant gratification, they focused on perfecting their skills, laying a foundation so strong that when their moment arrived, it was unshakable. Recognition didn't come overnight, but through years of relentless preparation, their brilliance became undeniable. Your path mirrors this, a testament to the patience and persistence that transforms the overlooked into the unstoppable. When your breakthrough comes, it will be clear that true strength lies in unwavering dedication to your purpose. They believed rejection would be your undoing, that the closed doors would lock you into stagnation. What they didn't realize was that every denial served as a crucible, refining the essence of your strength. Each dismissal, instead of diminishing you, became a force that stripped away distractions and revealed the resilience they never imagined you possessed. What they intended as roadblocks turned into stepping stones, forcing you to harness untapped reserves of determination and clarity. Their lack of recognition did not weaken your potential, it crystallized it, pushing you to construct a foundation so solid it could not be shaken. You thrived not despite the challenges, but because of them, crafting a path where none seemed to exist. Their rejection was not a measure of your inadequacy, but a mirror of their inability to see the magnitude of your vision. I recall a story of a group that faced repeated refusals from an industry giant they once admired. Their ideas were dismissed, their aspirations ignored, but instead of walking away, they used that resistance to fuel their ambition, channeling it into creating something uniquely their own. What began as a modest effort soon blossomed into a thriving enterprise. Years later, that same company that once shut them out came knocking, not with rejection, but with an offer of collaboration. This journey proves that when one door closes, it isn't an end, but an invitation to create an entirely new path. True strength lies in how you rebuild and rise, finding opportunities even in the shadows of rejection. Feel the call? Step into your potential. Subscribe now, and let's rise together. Be still, and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Sometimes the greatest power comes not from action, but from waiting, from standing firm in the quiet assurance that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Like a seed buried deep in the soil, unseen by the world, your silence wasn't surrender, it was preparation. They misunderstood your stillness, thinking it meant you were defeated, unaware that it was in that very stillness where your strength was growing. They assumed you were idle, but God was moving. He was shaping your path, aligning your purpose, and setting the stage for a rise they could neither see nor stop. They looked at your calm and called it weakness, laughed at your patience as though it meant you had given up. But you were never still out of fear. You were still out of faith. Every moment they spent mocking was a moment you spent building. They didn't see it because they weren't meant to. While they were busy judging, you were busy preparing. Like an eagle, you were soaring above their noise, waiting for the right winds to lift you higher. And when the moment came, you didn't just rise, you soared. They thought your silence meant you had no fight, but it was wisdom. You knew not every battle is worth your energy. Not every insult deserves your time. Your restraint wasn't hesitation, it was strategy. While they swung wildly in the dark, you moved deliberately, step by step, guided by a higher purpose. Their arrogance blinded them to the truth. You weren't just standing still, you were standing strong. Now, as they look around, they're realizing their error. The ground they thought was theirs has shifted beneath their feet, and what they mocked has become unshakable. Every insult they hurled, every scheme they plotted, it all fell flat, powerless against the quiet force of your determination. What they saw as inaction was actually mastery, a refusal to engage in battles beneath your purpose. You see, God has a way of using the very things meant to harm you as the tools for your elevation. They thought they had the upper hand, but what they didn't realize was that you were never fighting alone. You let their words fall at your feet like stones that couldn't reach you. And with every step forward, you built something they never could. A foundation rooted in strength, faith, and purpose. When they dismissed you, it wasn't a reflection of your value. It was a reflection of their inability to see it. They weren't equipped to understand the depth of your calling or the clarity of your vision. But their lack of understanding didn't stop you. It fueled you. Now, they can't ignore what's in front of them. They may never admit it, but deep down, they know. They underestimated you. They know the very patience they mocked is what kept you 2 steps ahead. They know the quiet strength you carried. The resolve they laughed at was the force they could never break. This is your victory, chosen ones. Not because you fought louder or harder, but because you trusted in the timing of something greater than yourself. You didn't need to prove them wrong because your success speaks for itself. They thought they could write the end of your story, but God was always the author. And now, your story isn't just about overcoming, it's about thriving. It's about standing firm in who you are, knowing that the battles you didn't fight were the ones you didn't need to. It's about rising with a strength that doesn't need to shout because its presence is undeniable. So keep moving forward. Let this moment be a reminder that patience isn't passive, it's powerful. That faith isn't weak, it's unshakable. And that the purpose on your life isn't up for debate, it's divine. This is your time, your season, your victory. And there's nothing they can do to take it away. This is just the beginning. Subscribe now and be part of something powerful. They finally understand their miscalculation. Your composure was never a sign of fragility. It was the quiet strength that dismantled their every attempt. Their actions weren't about your supposed shortcomings, but their inability to handle your potential. Their fear of what you could achieve drove them to disrupt your path. They erected barriers, thinking they could halt your momentum, spread whispers to isolate you, and crafted schemes to silence you. Yet their very efforts revealed a crucial truth. The more pressure they applied, the brighter your determination burned. When they blocked your route, you carved a new way forward. Every obstacle they placed became an unintentional challenge that honed your focus and sharpened your resolve. The more they sought to suppress you, the more it became evident that their attempts were fuel for your progress. Their desperation only amplified your voice, leaving them struggling to understand how their sabotage could lead to the very outcome they feared. The strength they tried to stifle became an unstoppable force they could no longer contain. Your story mirrors that of countless others who turned adversity into a catalyst for greatness. When they sought to undermine you, their actions became the unexpected foundation of your growth. Every effort to silence you only amplified your resolve, and the energy they spent in opposition fueled your determination to rise. While they were busy crafting plans to hinder your progress, you focused on refining your purpose, growing stronger with every challenge they placed before you. Their attempts to weaken you revealed their fear, and instead of breaking you, they unknowingly sharpened your skills. Each obstacle became a stepping stone, each setback a chance to learn and adapt. Their schemes didn't destroy you, they highlighted the resilience they failed to anticipate. The force they used against you rebounded, leaving them disoriented, while you emerged more confident, more capable, and undeniably powerful. Their fear of your rise only strengthened the very path they tried to block, turning every attempt to suppress you into the fuel for your inevitable success. They failed to see that their actions were never the end of your journey, but the spark that ignited your transformation. What was meant to hinder you became the foundation of your unshakable rise. Every attempt to block your path only strengthened your resolve, turning opposition into the force that propelled you forward. Those who doubted your potential and dismissed your efforts are now confronted with the undeniable truth of your success. Though they may never admit it, they see it clearly. Their attempts to diminish you failed spectacularly. The voices that once mocked you are now silent, overwhelmed by the reality of your resilience. They believed their approval was essential for your progress, but you proved otherwise. Step by step, you dismantled their assumptions, not with arguments or explanations, but with results so tangible they can no longer ignore them. Your triumph is not just a testament to your strength, it is a reflection of the determination they underestimated. The very fuel they poured into trying to hold you back became the fire that illuminated your ascent, leaving them to watch in quiet astonishment as you soar beyond their expectations. Your name lingers in their thoughts, evoking a complex blend of regret, jealousy, and an unspoken recognition of the strength they failed to suppress. They won't confess it openly, perhaps not even to themselves, but deep within, they're aware of their error. They realize the obstacles they placed in your way did not halt you. Instead, they became the very tools that lifted you higher. Their attempts to deny your value only reinforced its undeniable presence. Consider a figure from the past, a visionary, whose insights could have changed lives, but were dismissed by the narrow-mindedness of their time. Despite presenting a simple yet revolutionary idea, their peers ridiculed them, blind to the evidence right before their eyes. What they failed to accept wasn't the concept itself, but the humility required to acknowledge they had been wrong. History, however, has a way of vindicating the overlooked. The lessons they ignored became the foundations of progress, and the legacy of that persistence endures long after the dismissive voices have faded. Your journey mirrors this resilience, proving that rejection is not an end, but a catalyst for transformation. Your next step is here. Subscribe now and let's move forward together. You were overlooked, not because your ideas lacked merit, but because they required a vision others didn't possess. History has shown us time and again that the greatest breakthroughs are often ridiculed before they are revered. Though their rejection stung, it didn't erase the truth you carried. Your work, your persistence, and your belief were never dependent on their validation. Over time, what they dismissed as inconsequential will stand as a testament to your resilience and insight. Their initial mockery will fade into silence, replaced by acknowledgement they can no longer withhold. They underestimated you, mistaking your steady pace for weakness, unable to recognize the power of deliberate effort. While they raced ahead, seeking shortcuts and basking in shallow victories, you stayed focused, building a foundation that would outlast their fleeting success. It wasn't about how quickly you advanced, but how consistently you worked toward your goals. Every distraction they indulged in became an opportunity for you to refine your craft, to strengthen your resolve. In the end, it wasn't speed that mattered, but the unshakable dedication that carried you across the finish line, leaving them to marvel at what you had quietly achieved. They doubted your resolve, mistaking your silence for inaction, unaware that every step you took was building towards something greater. You didn't seek their approval or attempt to justify your path. Instead, you invested your energy into consistent effort, day by day, remaining steadfast in your purpose. Their mockery only fueled your determination, turning their underestimation into the driving force behind your progress. Those who once ridiculed your deliberate pace now find themselves trailing far behind, hindered by their own misplaced arrogance. They believed their early start would secure their success, failing to recognize the unmatched power of discipline and focus. What they couldn't understand was that steady progress outlasts fleeting bursts of effort every time. Their dismissive laughter was never a reflection of you, but of their inability to grasp the depth of your vision. Now, as they witness your rise to heights they couldn't reach, their mockery has given way to silence, replaced by the undeniable reality of your success. In the end, it wasn't their showmanship or shortcuts that prevailed, but the substance and persistence you brought to every challenge. They failed to comprehend the scale of what was unfolding in your life, and that was because it wasn't for them to see. Now, the noise of their doubt has faded, replaced by the undeniable weight of your achievements. Every dismissal, every slight, every attempt to diminish you became the building blocks of the foundation you stand on today. The obstacles they placed in your path only served to strengthen your resolve, sharpening your focus and solidifying your purpose. Their efforts to undermine you became the very clarifiers of your destiny, redirecting you toward greater clarity and strength. What they intended as harm turned into the tools of your elevation. Their underestimation didn't hinder you. It fueled the power of your ultimate triumph. Now, as the truth of your rise stands unshaken, their silence is louder than their previous mockery ever was. They can no longer deny what they sought to suppress. You've turned every challenge into proof of your unyielding strength and purpose. Your journey stands as a testament to resilience, a vivid reminder that your story is still unfolding. The victories you've achieved are merely the foundation of a legacy yet to be written. Each step forward carries with it the strength you've cultivated and the purpose that continues to guide you. Share this with those who need it most, showing them that even in the midst of doubt and resistance, triumph is possible. Let your journey inspire others to believe in the unstoppable force of determination. Your path proves that no force can derail a purpose aligned with a higher vision. Keep moving forward. The most extraordinary chapters are still waiting to be written.